Hello, Rex. Welcome. It's my first podcast with you, and I'm grateful to have you as my first guest. Let's do a quick little intro. I think people could see the tuna pizza, the kiwi skin, and the Ape King. You want to do a little introduction? Yeah. To those who are watching or listening, I actually have a, a little gorilla that I could, pat on the back as well. We created this. Big shout out once again to Rax for for creating this wonderful um, image and panel. All right, let's first off dive to our first question. It's gonna be a would you rather question. You ready? All right. Would you rather be feared by all or loved by all? Yeah. Well, I think it's about power. Mm. That's true. And the plot armor against love is super super strong too. It defeats everything. Yeah. What were you gonna say? Mm-hmm. Mm. That's true. I love that answer. I think I would also, I don't know, because when I was reading this question, I thought about fear as in power over empowering over someone, and like I feel like in certain situations, this is kind of like ego playing, but like fear could be a good thing because people don't look kind of like down upon you, and if you are feared, you're kind of respected, as in. So that's how I thought about being feared by all, and being loved by all would be. It sounds really attractive, and everyone I think wants to be loved by all, but kind of has like a little soft tone to it, being loved by all. Yeah. So I'd like to challenge your answer by going with feared by all, just to have a little edge against someone on whatever. W- w- can we think of a scenario where love would dominate over fear? Because I think family situation was really probably the biggest. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Hmm. Yeah. We gotta weigh the benefits and the consequences. Yeah. I think love triumphs over fear. Like at the end of the day, and kind of like talking about like humans as a whole, going back to kind of like tribalism. Everyone wants to be a part of a tribe or some sense of like community, and usually I think fear does play a big factor in like you feared the ruler, the silverback gorilla, the king who leads the pack. But I think love is greater because the reason why people fear um, the silverback gorilla is because they lead the pack, they are dominant, and they're fearful. to fear less as well, but fearful to other like tribes. So I think maybe the balance between the two, it's also really crucial. What do you think about that? Yeah. Mhm. Hmm. Mhm. Yeah. Let's talk about it. So, is there any situation where love is not, where you don't want to be loved by someone, or yeah? Yeah. I'm trying to think of any scenarios where love from someone would not be kind of like a desire, but I can't think of any on top of my head. Can you? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Dude, I think I have a perfect like answer. Like going off that kind of Hitler analogy is you want to be feared by your enemies, but loved by your people, by the community. Because I think fear fundamentally it holds so much value in whatever you're trying to maintain or achieve, but you truly want to protect. And what are you doing it for? You're doing it because you want to be loved by everyone. Man, that's so great. All right, should we jump into another would you rather? Yeah, you ready? Would you rather never get angry or never be envious? So I think before we get into it, I think we have to define what angry and envious is. Okay. So when you think about the word angry, what do you feel? What do you think about? Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Small things bothering you? True. Mm. Do you feel angry? What, like, I guess, what actions or what's like the latest thing when I use the word anger? What memory like kind of popped up? You talked about CS, like when you lose a match, when you don't get that perfect ace. What does it look like? Hmm. Yeah. I could feel the anger. I could feel the anger from here just just by listening. The blowing of the mics. Yeah. All right. So that's angry. Getting annoyed by small things, and kind of I think what I interpreted it was like overvaluing like small things and like really emphasizing it than it really is. Okay. Hmm. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. That's when anger comes. All right. How about envy? What do you think about envy? Let's talk about it. What do you mean you've never felt envious before? Or you've never felt envy? Mm-hmm. 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 Man, very much needed, dude. I truly think you do have a superpower though, because your ability to like change envy to kind of inspiration and motivation. Not a lot of people get to that state. Cause like in my personal life, I struggle a lot with like envy, and I looked up like the definition of envy. It means feeling discontented, or resentful, longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. So like kind of like it's a synonym for jealousy and all these like negative emotions that I do feel like in any like system that I put myself. For example, in class, if I see someone doing better than me with like putting less work, then it's like, man, like what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Or if I just like look at people on the top of the chain of whatever, as you said, like wealth, happiness, it's like I get sad. I compare like it I feed myself of negative emotions when I don't want to. You know, if you're consuming other people's content, you get to consume like their kind of life and their pinnacle of it. I think that's like why social media it was so harmful for me, because I didn't even know that I was being having strings that's pulling on me. I was literally like being programmed to look at these things, and because other people value it, I'm like I feel like a deep desire to also value it and achieve those things, but I have nothing. I have to start at ground zero. But I think why stuck in that so toxic kind of life, just consuming and consuming for so long, is because I wasn't aware. I truly did not, and I felt like I had to protect my ego, whatever was inside me, that little kid inside me. I didn't want to grow up. I believed that I knew truly everything, and that everything around the world that was just fed upon me was just nonsense. Like I believed whatever. Yeah, just I just had a very limited scope of thinking and perspective, and I could definitely see that like perspective change, and I'm beginning to kind of appreciate like what how you're thinking right now, which is taking what other people's do and appreciating their success and taking it as motivation and inspiration. But that's a really hard state to get to, and I think somehow you've maybe there must have been a change or like an experience that you felt that shifted it, or maybe you're just, you know, just a powerful, just you being. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Yeah, exactly. That's there you go. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, maybe you're just a Sigma male. Mhm. 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 Would you rather never get angry or never be envious? Right? You think so? Mm, that's true. Yeah. I think you could definitely, there's more opportunities to channel anger rather than envy into good energy, such as motivation or inspiration. Because, like, what I struggle, like, and I think I ever will, and I'm so grateful that I've experienced envy and that I do, because that makes me kind of value more of the complete opposite, which is appreciation and love. Without, if I didn't experience like anger, all these negative emotions, what does, good emotion, what does love mean? What does caring for someone, being compassionate individual, what does that really mean? But because I've had the fortunate to of time of kind of experiencing some of those emotions, I feel like I'm beginning to understand or get a better understanding of what loving and being compassionate to others is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what do you think would be kind of like a solution for someone, like if you got a chance to talk to my younger self, and I did not want to talk. I was like very what's the right the very fixed mindset. I really did not think that my beliefs could be challenged because I was very stubborn. I was very stubborn and very immature. What would you say to someone who was very angry and envious? Does it just come by nature, or do you think there has to be learning involved to kind of like overcome that and pursue, the goodness of human nature, the creative aspects of it, right? Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Hmm. Let it out, cry it out. At least in that direction. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think what I kind of understood is that moderation is key. Even not, I think that's why like the symbol of yin and yang, it kind of resonates like kind of deeply upon me between like order and chaos. Like even in emotions and all aspects of life, if you, I think humans fundamentally they really resonate and they desire order in their lives. And when it's too chaotic, too many thoughts in their mind, too many emotions going through, like as you said, it could crumble down upon and then truly just be angry, and not like escape out of that. But if you're able to kind of maintain that and lean towards more of order instead of chaos, or somehow channel chaos into something greater, something good, then I think that's where change and becoming better kind of is shown. But I think it comes from an innate desire to want to maintain and lean towards order. That part's hard. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. 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 Yeah. I find deep value though kind of in chaos, like through kind of like my journey of just live streaming in general. There's like a lot of pressure, and you're trying to satisfy a lot of demands, but just like personal struggles of like a lot of noise that you have and what you want to kind of show and express, but I feel a lot of like clutter. But sometimes I kind of completely like acknowledge it and then try to move on or cope it with like adding another layer of I guess like chaos or fake order, I guess. But um, I think there's, if you find yourself in chaos, you could really find something. Like for me, when I'm in chaos, I find like ideas or things that I haven't, like different perspectives that was maybe that I've experienced or maybe heard that really like resonated, and kind of like changed that into kind of a creative process of like seeing like, oh man, like dude, there's so many thoughts, like what can I do with this, how can I, does this mean something, can I make this into somehow like bettering myself. I don't know, I don't really know how to explain my chaotic mind and all the ideas, but there's 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 complexity, there's deep meaning that I find in complexities rather than like simplicity, and the tendency for humans to kind of head towards complexities. I think it's beautiful, and that's really like being able to also fight off um, the complexity and the chaos is, it's really hard work, but I find it very valuable. And another thing that I wanted to add is that I didn't know what motivation, like I would watch motivational videos, all these inspiring speeches from great leaders when I was in like from middle school, but it's like 1 year in, 1 year out, I didn't, it didn't really hit me, didn't really click with me. But as I'm kind of like understanding these words through like living it out and really experiencing it, as you said, like numerous times, I've numerous like failures, not wanting to do. There's so many days just like, man, what am I doing? It's like I've done enough, and it's that little like voice that wants to inch up on you, and eat you. But you really do have to live it out, and no one. And you also gotta understand that people are selfish, kind of. They, I think everyone pursues their self-interest and thinks about themselves first. And for me, it was kind of really hard to kind of accept that kind of fact, because I believe that maybe if I was in like a a really broken down place, someone will get me out of here. Someone, I mean, there probably is, but it's a very small minority. You have to understand that people are very selfish in nature, which is good. Our system currently, our market system, incentivizes people to be pursue their self-interest because theoretically it impacts the most. It provides the most good. It affects society in a good way. But to really start out, I like from a really dark place. I just had to take those like steps and then just say accept like these harsh truth, and then it's like okay, and then like slowly just doing it, just living it out. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I truly don't know exactly what discipline is, but it's the effort I think that really counts, and the lessons that I could take away from those by living it out and understanding what these words really mean, and also being able to express that those thoughts and experiences, because that's what I hold really valuable, because I consume a lot from like YouTube videos and whatever consumption outlet there is, and I think you probably have experienced this too. It's just like there's so much like nonsense, and if you're too into it, you really can't find the escape. It's just you're too embedded in it, and you can't escape. You really can't escape unless you find boredom, and then you really want to change. What I'm trying to get is it's just you have to want change, and it's a hard road to take, but it's worth taking. Yeah. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, for sure. I love that perspective. Like finding discomfort and no, finding comfort in discomfort and like welcoming that, and using order and chaos kind of as a mechanism for you to improve. That's beautiful. Should we go back to that our original question? Trying to, I know we kind of did a rabbit hole, which was very much obviously needed. Would you rather never get angry or never be envious? And I think he chose envious. Never be envious. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to think if I could provide an answer, because like if I wasn't envious, then I don't think I would be here in this like exact position. It was through envy and all these like negative emotions that I had to kind of find order and I guess like in my current life, and be really appreciative of the complete opposite emotions. But I would agree with you that I'm just trying to see which one has a greater magnitude of destruction, and trying to pick that one. But I think I would also have to go with envy, because I think angry. I mean envious because angry has more power. All right. Yeah. All right. Should we go into a would you rather? I have a couple more would you rather's that I wanted to kind of contemplate. Um, all right. Would you rather be reincarnated as a fly or just cease to exist after you die? Yeah. Dude, why you gotta do the fly like that? What's wrong? Uh, your answer was so spot on so quickly. Why? Does the thought of being a fly not make you excited? Look, how about the little flies with them really cool legs, really skinny, and their wings. You don't want to flap around, buzz in people's ears, make them go crazy. Mhm. You don't think so? Mhm. 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 Uh, what are you envisioning? What type of? you Mhm. For sure. You're thinking about like the really hard life, the worst of the worst type of fly. What do you envision when I say the word fly? Are you thinking about mosquitoes, like those flies that live on like one day? I don't know what it's called in English, but it's called harusari, which means I think it lives for a day. What do you think about when I think of a fly? A fruit fly? Mhm. Okay. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Whoa. That was a very deep answer. I think I just heard an alert. I don't know what that was. It was very weird. All right. Yeah, for me, I mean, man, what change can I make? If I was a fly, that's how you're kind of taking on the question. Ah, yes. Let me think about it. Let me ponder about what I would achieve in this crazy world, in this natureful world. If I was a fly, what type of impact, everlasting impact, can I leave? Hmm. Maybe I'll be squashed to death. Maybe I get blown on too hard and then I somehow die. I feel like there's so many painful ways that a fly's life is just discontinued or just ceased to exist. But like if I envision myself like, okay, today's my last day, but tomorrow I get to become a fly, like that sounds kind of exciting for some reason. Even if I was a mosquito, I could the fact that I could fly in 3D dimension, doesn't it sound exciting? Nope. Just completely no. uh, yeah, yeah. Exactly. The social justice warrior for the Fly Foundation is gonna come after you. Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah. Um, yeah, actually, I don't know. Now I'm thinking about what you're saying and how hard their life is. Maybe it's maybe it's better just to seize. Hmm. I don't know, but also I kind of want to fly. Even though a flying bird mammal, I still want to have that ability to fly. That just seems so cool. Anyway, let's move on to another would you rather. Would you rather know the uncomfortable truth of the world or believe a comforting lie? So I guess in this, yeah, I mean, yeah, let's define truth, and then I guess in this comforting lie, we could kind of define it as like an illusion, but truly you are, I guess, you can attain anything. Okay. So, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Hmm. So let's give like an example of the harsh truth. So let's put ourselves in the concentration camp, and we are envisioning ourselves that we are going to die, and we don't know when we're going to die, but that's the truth. Or, given the same circumstance, you want to believe a comfortable lie. Is that you're going into a box and there's going to be some steam, but it's going to be like a heavenly scent. And going into that box will grant you happiness and anything that you desired, whether it be fame, wealth, monetary possessions, anything, whatever you value, that's in that box. No, no, I don't. But, hmm yeah. hmm Uh huh. Okay, I haven't got to the chance. hmm Okay. hmm hmm Whoa. Whoa. hmm Uh huh. Oh. hmm 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 Yeah. hmm I wanna. True. Yeah, that's the truth right there, man. That series exactly kind of another movie. It's called Ready Player One. Have you watched it? Yeah, it's kind of like that, right? Living in a VR world, and you could, I mean, it's not really like the same like storyline, but the real world, it's there's trash compiled everywhere. Your life is not may not be great, but in this virtual world, it's a whole new world. You could get anything you want. You could fly. You could have mythical powers. You're the king. You have your own community. Everybody wants you. You're loved by everyone. Ah, so you'd go with that one, huh? The latter. Mm-hmm. mm. Okay. Yeah. It's like yeah, this exists, but talk about my life. It's beyond what you guys can comprehend. I think, oh, dude, I'm trying to envision myself of like the worst possible truth that I could live in. Like I'm thinking about poverty, wars, famine. Like, dude, our ancestors have gone through some really, really dark stuff, man. So you would not picture. Okay, let's pretend you are in like kind of like that situation. You're experiencing famine, wars, all the destruction of human nature combined all together. But that's the harsh truth. Which one do you pick? That one, or you know, Funzy Daisy La La Land, that you could fly and do whatever you want in. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Mm. Yeah, definitely go with harsh truth, but I really like your answer about like the first one. It's like, dude, for sure, man. Like, for sure the review. Are you kidding me? I wanted to ask, so it seems like you need to feel like you have impact. Your existence needs to, have some sort of meaning for you to kind of choose harsh truth, right? So, what level of hope or what level of belief do you need to have for you to kind of make that change from the VR world to the harsh truth? You know what I mean? What if your existence did not do jack nothing, but you don't know that, like, but you still believed? Like, even I think having that belief would make you choose the harsh truth. No. Mhm. 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 I see. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. I feel truly honored. But I guess another like just throwing in another criteria is what if like there's so much suffering in this I guess real world, you're the only human, there's like fire burning everywhere, but there's that dragon, like you believe that the greater the suffering, the bigger the loot is. The dragon's, protecting all the gold wherever that may be, but you have that, mindset that even though this world is crazy, it's beyond my comprehension, like I still am willing to take up a fight. I think that's what makes a true warrior, but I don't even know how to comprehend that mindset. Like you know, how do you get there? You must have gone through so much craziness in your life to even think about that. Yeah. Mhm. Mm. Mhm. Yeah, I think that brings to question of why humans is this I don't know if this is a biological thing or like a learned thing, but I think there's a innate like desire for humans to help others, like lean towards others, and there's been like studies actually like where people lean towards like being treated equally than doing something I guess like more destructive between like being given of course the choice between the two. And for you to kind of I like the example of like you are part of the problem if you didn't do anything about it. That's like uh, is that like a moral question or is it I don't know, I'm trying to comprehend like would there ever be a scenario where like I'm trying to understand the opposite. It's like okay, you let it happen. Now, what do you think? What do you feel? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Right, right. Hmm. That makes sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great philosophical question, I think. Like a the kind of like moral dilemma, like the ethic question. I think it's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Hmm. I kind of want to briefly talk about religion. I don't want like I respect all religion, like a little disclaimer, but it's just like I really enjoy kind of learning beyond because I kind of grew up on like Christian beliefs with parents, and that was kind of like enforced upon me. But thankfully, I have the chance to kind of escape that and like learn truth for myself. I kind of figured that out, and, like dipping my toes in different religions and learning what their fundamental like beliefs are. And one thing that I kind of envisioned, like a question that came to mind is like a lot of these Christianity, Islam, a lot of religions have a theme of reincarnation, like not reincarnation, but like something beyond death. I think they really do prey upon the fear of death a lot, and that's something that I had kind of a trouble like understanding. It's like, oh, for me to be saved, if then what happens if I don't believe? What if literally I was in the circumstance of not knowing that? Like, just a lot of questions and like logical kind of reasoning flaws that I couldn't kind of grasp understand. But I think kind of like where I am, where I understood about religion is that belief is super super powerful. Like even going back to the question, our question of about would we live in truth or a VR world, La La Land? Why do we choose truth? Why do we have a tendency to do truth? It's because we believe that we have some sort of impact. We could change, lean more towards order or progress. We have like a desire. That's why we were very materialistic people. We need to innovate. We need to change. We want more experience, whatever that may be. But it's that belief factor. Even in money, like our monetary system is so flawed. Without the faith and credit system, it's completely useless. We value money because other people value it as well. A piece of paper doesn't really mean much. But I think the power of belief in all aspects of life is super powerful, right? Right. Mhm. Right. The mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Mm. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. I think it's necessary also to give kind of like the right, like again, like in the Declaration of Independence in America, for example, it states like everyone should have the right to pursuit of happiness. It doesn't say that every citizen's, they have right to happiness. It's right of pursuit of happiness. Like as you said, I think religion, like I feel really bad, uh, not like extremely bad, but I really do feel that it's unfair for families to kind of like enforce that. I feel like everyone, as you said, but it's truly a luxury to kind of even think about like religion because it's usually so embedded in family ties, you know? And another like thing that I'm kind of understanding through understanding this world and all these like new theories is like the simulation theory is kind of like our way of viewing religion in our current world. It's like, oh, there must be something greater out there. Maybe we truly are in a simulation of some higher being, and this is just a test. Like exactly what you said. That was what your parents told you. Why is there evil? Because there's a test. Like why is there a simulation? They're testing something out, and we're just playing our part. But oh, talking about parts, I think it's a perfect segue into a question that I actually received from Maria, which is talking about fate. You wanna just dab on that question? All right. So let's talk about it. Does fate exist? That's the big question, and I kind of want to dissect this question by asking, does free will exist, or is every action predetermined? Mhm. 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 Man, I got Joe, Bob, Billy. They're me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I respect that. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. I don't know. I I found a lot of comfort in finding, like, I guess, like Christianity, going back to it, believing that, oh, God has a plan for me. Oh man, I may eat this chip, but God has a plan even though I'm eating this chip. I may be fat, but God still has a plan. That idea that no matter what I do, that fate will put me in somewhere was so, like, comforting, but so flawed. Like what I just said, bro, it's BS. It's just me kind of justifying my bad actions. As you said, like, if you're living with healthy or bad unhealthy people, there's going to be a tendency, or whatever you call fate, is going to lead you that path. Like, even in our current world, I think there's like 2.1 billion unhealthy people with diabetes or malnutrition. It wasn't, and by 2030, it was expected that more than half the population, around half of the population, is going to be, I don't know if it was sugar or malnutrition, but like related to really bad health. And it's definitely the easy path. And what you said about, like, oh, if you're hanging around like that hierarchy, and if you're constantly around that, it's gonna be so easy for you to, feel a little better about yourself, and just encourage that thinking. But I don't know. I guess, like, this mindset of how I changed a little bit of fate was by taking kind of ownership and realizing that my life is bounded upon what I do and what I pursue. And of course, like, this is, again, like, finding more comfort of, like, my beliefs in a way, because I'm justifying, okay, if I take my life and take ownership of it and then put in hard work, then I believe that I'm going to be a little bit better. That was, like, kind of the belief that I wanted to kind of follow. And I still am kind of skeptical of the whole, like, fate thing, but I do believe that environment factors are so important in the direction that you are tended to. Because I always, like, envision, what if I was born in a developing country? What if I didn't have the luxury of being born in a middle income family? What if I was like, really, really poor, and I was struggling with borderline famine? Like, I think about those situations and I put myself, because I have the ability to do so, and I really believe in like fairness. I believe that everybody should have opportunity to pursue and kind of experience whatever their interest is. Um, and upon that notion, I deeply resonated that fate is, it may help, but I'm in control of my life. Of course, again, like luck, all those environmental factors are crucial. Are crucial. I wouldn't be in this position without great leaders. Like as I've mentioned, um, some of the great leaders that really inspired change. Like Goggins, for example, is such a big person for me. It's because he's experienced it, and I want to do my fair share of experiencing like pain and suffering and really acknowledging it. Um, but if I truly only believed in fate, then I feel like I wouldn't take as much responsibility. So I really don't like the idea of that you're destined to do something. Maybe you're destined for greatness. You could use that as like a general direction, but you're not destined to do anything. You have to kind of manifest like your visions and dreams and put it into like the current world and situation you're currently in. That's kind of how I view fate at the moment, but it could change for sure. Yeah. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's what a fate person supporter would say. Okay. um yeah. So your question is, what if fate allowed me to think this way? So I'm being manipulated uh, by fate. Mm. I mean, then I would go back to kind of, okay, okay. So there's fate, and I can't change that. No matter what I do, I will end up in this spot. But do I have the opportunity to choose? I think that's what makes everyone unique and different, is that they have an opportunity to choose, like, and define their character and build that up. Or would you say that is also actually developed by fate? Yeah, is that what you said? Yeah. No, dude, man. Mhm. Right. I- Mhm. 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 Nonsense. I do without, if there was such thing as fate, or if there is, like, it wouldn't, it really doesn't make sense, cuz like if I look at myself 2 years ago, I'm literally a completely different person. Literally all my kind of like notions and my beliefs, I like to believe that I made the decision and that I'm in control of at least that, of wanting to become better. Maybe like fate is this huge thing. It's like, okay, yeah, but you're, it was determined that you were actually going to be a different person. You were going to be this great man, and that's fate. Like, okay, but I really did not, because I had visions of me not doing this and just working literally like physical labor jobs and playing games every single day. That was at one point what my vision was. I feared studying. I did not want to do any of this. So then that really like questions, like, okay, so fate, what do you think? Fate, I want to have a conversation with you. What do you think? Is it, so was my belief or whatever vision I had, is that also a part of fate? Like, you created that image, but then you gave me the chance. Dude, we're going into a rabbit hole. I'm just like envisioning this out. But I mean, also the word fate itself is man-made. All these words that's man-made are I'm beginning to understand that they're limiters. They are tools. We should use language as tools to express our thoughts and emotions. But there's so much that words can do. Of course, through creativity and language structure and how you put these words, there could be a really great way of like explaining what you're thinking. But truly, I think language does have limits in terms of that. But I'm also beginning to understand that I shouldn't like define like, oh, just because of the word fate. Gosh dang it, I can't do this because of fate. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't I don't know. Truly, I just view fate as like a tool, kind of, to serve whatever purpose. Yeah. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. I love how we're also talking about fate as if it was a real person, you know? Oh, yo, whoa! Our second guess, actually. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's go maybe to the bigger question. I think we kind of answered it though. Does fate exist? What do you think about that, Rex? No. Mhm. Mhm. True. Mhm. Right. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, truly all of these like would you rather and these philosophical questions, I don't think it has like one answer, but it's really intriguing to ponder about because it allows us to like think about things like differently and it really makes us question, like think deeply, be aware of different perspectives. And as you said, yeah, it doesn't have one answer, but you shouldn't rely on it so much so that it's like, oh, you screw all your responsibilities. No, man, you do have to be considerate of that, but don't let don't let fate like kind of be a slave owner of who you are or any of these terms. All right, beautifully said. Let's go on to the lifelong question that philosophers have questioned. Does life have a reason? Mm. Mhm. 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 What I I love it. Yeah, and I resonate with that because I believe that too. I think if life did have a meaning, then it would everyone would be trying to attempt to attain it, like in any system. Again, like there has to be if they're in any system to have winners, you have to have losers. So in the game of life, in whatever hierarchy system you place yourself in, or whatever you're doing, then you're going to want to attain that meaning, whatever that definition is. But I think what makes it so intriguing is that there is no like one true meaning, and it's quite subjective, which allows people to not like limit it and pursue the same thing, but pursue different things and create like bigger change and explore like humans and our consciousness. So I guess another thing that I wanted to bring to this question was how about animals and insects? What's their meaning? Do you believe that in this grand scheme of universe, such a big term and vastness, I don't quite understand it, but do you think even like those stars, neutrons, whatever those small atoms, what is their meaning? Or even the insect that's like flying around, and what's their purpose? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Mhm. Right. Uh huh. Right. Dude. Th- yeah. Yeah, I'm just envisioning like what you like the example you gave. Maybe they are capitalists. You know, they prey upon man. This deer's looking scrumptious today. Oh man, we're gonna feed on that one. Um, but I don't. I think what differentiates from humans and like other living organisms is our ability to have consciousness. I think that's what makes us like I guess on the top of the food hierarchy, the ability to pass down information and to create like so much complexity from nothing. Like we are carbon atoms, dude. Like we started from a destruction, and from the chaos, we are even more complex. Like there had to be Goldilocks thresholds that had to be, met in order for us to create this. But even in our current world, we're creating more and more complexities. And I'd love to like kind of see where this takes on. But I think I think why humans are so intriguing is because the ability of having consciousness and continual kind of experimentation and exploration of that. Because other animals, I don't think, have the ability to manifest whatever they're thinking into reality, whereas humans can. In terms of technology and whatever we have created, it's just, it's crazy insane and beautiful too. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Oh yeah. Mhm. 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 Mm. Oh. Wow. Yeah. Mhm. It's like a boy who cried wolf. It's that exact same story in real life. Wow. Uh-huh. Right, right. I, I heard that also like the pain aspect, like certain animals feel pain like so differently. I mean, like for example, like pugs or English bulldogs, for example, they live painful, painful lives even from the birth. Like, I mean, they look so gorgeous and beautiful, like them fluffy things. I mean, looking like a loaf of bread. Who can't love that? But it's just like, dude, it is so painful for them to live and just breathing and all the surgeries that they have to go through and their daily. Oh, dude, it is insane. But I do think that they do have like a primitive way that survival thing, because we have that too. Like we, even in this complexity, we have like, oh, we are attaining this because we want to survive. Maybe it's for food, like higher quality of food, higher this, higher that. But I think animals do have that too. Well, at least like mammals. I'm trying to think of like insects. Insects do too, because flies, they avoid being swatted. Um, but I think beyond that, I hope that they also have some sort of meaning. Maybe it's in a simulation. They're just a factor or a variable. Bigger, right? Mhm. Mm. Mm. Mhm. Yeah, I'm just trying to think that idea, but like I'm looking at even bigger schemes of things of like maybe there's a higher being running a simulation inside a simulation, and then we're trying to simulate on a different species. I mean, we're simulating ourselves like each other, like through programming, like technology, as well as like feeding off like information off each other. But that's why like I find the simulation theory so intriguing and fascinating. I mean, it's like kind of like how I deal with I guess like religion in current world, but it's the thought of something bigger, the unknown, the unknown and the domain that I've never been in, and to kind of like even ponder or imagine what that's like. It's just the pursuing of that of the unknown. I think it's really valuable, the journey itself. Right. Exactly. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, you probably made you're gonna you're gonna trigger all the flat earthers, man. I'm pretty sure there actually is a flat Earth society. I think that's what it's called. I think that yeah, it's insane. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Oh yeah. Mhm. Conspiracies. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. I think mystery and we have a tendency again like going back to order and chaos is that we enjoy when we have the answer like or at least the satisfaction of knowing that we are in control. Truly we aren't like so many different factors, but like even me like when I was super chaotic, like pressure, so much nonsense going on in my head, and then I somehow like randomly figured out or I felt like I had control, and that glimpse of that I just kept that kind of protecting like that thought because it's so valuable in amidst of all the chaos. But there's deep. comfort in having things, or at least having a feeling of control, I think. That's why conspiracy theories and all these mystery, these unsolved cold cases, I think are so popular. It's because, you know, the answer is still unknown. Yeah, even Bigfoot, who knows? People make questionable choices, yo. They believe in that type. Yeah? Bigfoot! And behind him is the Loch Ness Monster! Yeah, true. Oh, we have. Wait. You're right, maybe. Truly. Alright. Another. Well, this kind of adds upon the whole notion of life having reason. Is minuscule part of intelligent minuscule part of intelligent life in the universe. Oh, okay, I see. Are we just a minuscule part of intelligent life in the universe? So this goes back to like there's something greater and intelligent beyond, and are we just yeah 100? Oh, right. I see. Yeah, thousands. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Billions, dude. Can you fathom how big a billion is? Mm-hmm. A lot of responsibility too. Imagine if like throughout, the space probes we put in space, and there truly is somehow there's an edge. Oh, there. I don't think there's. Yeah, there's no such thing. Never mind. I was gonna say we somehow go to the end of the universe, we explore everything, and there's nothing, and we are it. Like there's only us. Then that would be mind blowing. That's so much pressure as well, and like responsibility. Or do you think it's comfort of human species to believe that there's a higher being because we are not satisfied with who we are, like as civilization, or who humans are? Or is that just another pursuit of us trying to fuel our curiosity and expand our consciousness? Dude, we're getting real deep in here. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Yeah. Yeah, and exactly. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, there's already like thousands, I mean hundreds of thousands probably of habitable like planets. I think within our Milky Way galaxy. But beyond that, just imagine how many like multi universes, or I can't even fathom how big of like a hundred, like couple hundreds are like billion with a B, or even a million. It's just insane. I think that our galaxy is like 100,000 light years. Even a light year, the amount of measurement they used, they had to create another measurement because a light, you know, meters and kilometers wasn't enough. It's just it's mind blowing, but also really really fascinating, isn't it? Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. Right. But I don't know if I think about that argument, then that doesn't really like as an alien, I think it would be very intriguing to see humans and kind of study them like in this era because we have nuclear power, we have all this like chaos that we could manifest into this world. We have the power to do so, but we haven't yet. So humans at its current state can destroy literally the world, but it's not doing that. That's pretty intriguing. But I think another the world we live in currently. What other world? Yeah, the Earth, Earth. Mhm. 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 Yeah, but yeah, but it's a fact that we could create like that much destruction, like hundreds or thousands of years, however many years like it takes. But even like the power, but I guess like it makes sense that it's still not enough like advancement, and this is still very new in terms of progress that we're making. I don't know. And also another, yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Yeah, you're welcome. Hmm. Yeah, sit down. Yeah, go play with your toys. Yeah, your nuclear powers, whatever they are. You know, yeah, it's beyond our comprehension. If there is like an intelligent being, or maybe it's like a dimension thing of a 2D like living organism trying to fathom 3D space. We don't even know what I think the fourth dimension was like a tetrahedron or something like. We can't fathom of that shape. Like we may actually here another guest. Tetrahedron comes in the fourth dimension. Um, yeah, but it's just absurd. Where was I going with that? Oh, another like theory was that like intelligent life, if like there was such thing as aliens, like if we put it in our like shoes, if we were aliens, we would go to other like planets and extract their resources, like we do with our entire planet. Like we take for granted for trees and a lot like water, for example. We extract these resources, we take it down, deforestation, like all this like sustainability issues. It's kind of created because we're extracting resources for our gain, and I feel like that's what like, aliens, higher civilization, like they would do. Like they would come over. That this was just like a theory that they would just completely destroy and then take the resources and dip. Or if this was like a simulation, is that they're gonna put themselves like a chip or something like we did on Mars, like the space probe. They would do the same thing. But it would be kind of like unknown, a mist. Maybe it's on a stone. Maybe that's why it made you angry because you stepped on an alien. Yeah. I mean, it's just a thought. Yeah. Who knows? we truly can't fathom because they're we don't know anything, and I think this is what kind of going back to why conspiracies and theories and the mystery, the unknown is so intriguing because like these imagination and our ability to imagine about these things. Do you think lions do that? Do you think gorillas do that? Yeah, silverback gorilla just lying back with their pack, chewing on some bamboo, like, yeah. They're thinking about man. Yeah, for real. But yeah. Mhm. Oh yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Like a really intriguing thing is that we adapt like very quickly. If we look at like the fundamentals of any species, they adapt, and we do that really really well. I think in terms of like information and kind of like understanding. There's no like guideline. Oh, you have to adapt, but I think we will adapt to whatever technology is in its current state. Like how we're experiencing like the adaptation. Like at first we thought the phones were so cool, the sliding technology. I could take a picture on my phone and store that moment of time. That's insane? But like we kind of adapt to it, right? I think it's gonna be the same on like higher like as time goes, and hopefully human civilization still exists. Another thing I like how you brought up is the gorilla. There's a gorilla named Coco. You know Coco. She learned I think like 1,000. You don't. She's like a gorilla, and I think she was trained like sign language. And by the end of her time, she learned like thousands of sign languages. Yeah, which is mind blowing. I found that very fascinating. And like the amount of DNA, I don't know like in depth of the genes, what genes we share and whatnot, but 98% of DNA shared by a banana. I mean, of a gorilla, 50% for a banana. That I actually found that through Maria, which is just insane. 50% banana. We are 50% banana. That's how think of it. But it's just if we could teach like a gorilla to do sign languages, and it's really really hard. What about like an alien? Like if an alien came over here, okay, and then they were talking or teaching, it would be like the same way. It would take way too much time. Like okay, yeah, I guess. Like I'm just like envisioning what like myself as an alien. Of course, this wouldn't make sense because there's no such thing, or I don't. But like at the moment, yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Whoa. Yeah, that'd be pretty rad. Yeah. Mm. Dude, I didn't think about narrating our world, but that sounds really intriguing. I would definitely give whatever resource I can to watch that documentary because we don't know the thoughts of 7 billion people, 7 billion people on Earth. Like, whoa, whoa, it's a billion. That's insane. 7 billion people, and we don't know the thoughts of every single one, but we're heading towards change. We're heading towards like exponential growth of technology. I don't know where we're headed, but it sure seems like an intriguing one and an interesting one and worth fighting for. Yeah. Do you ever ponder about like, whoa, dude, technology in even my lifetime has changed so radically. Like think about the first iPhones and then what we're at now. Like 100x zoom feature. Now you could, I don't know, whatever the newest thing is. Do you think like in the next, actually I don't even know if this is worth talking about because it will be like literally I think there are no limits to change and progress. But do you ever ponder about like, oh man, this is what I would like to see? Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm. Oh. Mm. 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 Dude. Yeah. I think what you kind of attempted was bringing efficiency in terms of like going not having to go to doctor and empowering individuals, giving power to them to kind of like take responsibility for their health. Yeah. I think what I want to see is more of like a personalized like algorithm and consumption because I've been in like a non-stop feedback loop of consuming really short like really engaging stuff and I still have problems with that but like I'm more aware of it by questioning like the system itself, right? Like, oh, what's pulling on my strings? But being aware to that state, it takes a lot of luck and a lot of work to get to that state and beyond as well and truly using it for as a tool purpose. That aspect is really hard, but I would love to have some type of technology where it gives you, both sides. I don't like the political like playing an identity. I want to see like both things and then have the choice to since I experience both things, I could choose based on that, whatever that may be. Instead of just leaning towards one thing and then just, being hooked onto just consuming that one content and having like multiple different inputs because it really does challenge like beliefs and I think that may not be something that you might want to do but it is more impactful and more valuable in the long run. No, I was thinking more in terms of information, how it's, for example, if you watch like a kiwi video, you're like eating kiwi. Yeah, look at that smile on your face. I see you. So if you watch kiwi videos, you're gonna be recommended like kiwi videos. That's kind of like a flaw in the algorithm system of you consuming kiwi. But it's like it also shows you, man, check out this banana. It has a lot of potassium in it. It gives you like all these like no, you're still, but still like now that you know both, you could choose. Oh, this one I like this one, and then it's more of a like a personalized experience instead of like feeding you more into an illusion that you can't really escape without being aware. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I don't think I see it. Nor do I see people like using it. I feel like it would almost be as common sense, or people would be using it, so it would be very popularized because and it wouldn't be like, oh, it's a popularity thing since like this many people is using it, I have to use it. It's just like it's like a tool. It's truly it's like a timer or something. You do it, you press it, and you do it. Like it should serve a purpose, and the purpose of it should, you know, educate you, and then allow you to explore your curiosities instead of just one thing. Because having that fixed mindset was so like hard for me to escape, and like it required a lot of like effort and luck, you know. Yeah. I see. Mhm. 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 Mm. Mhm. Mm. Mm. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Did. Mhm. Mhm. Right. Mhm. 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 Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I. Yeah. I think so too. It would be hard because people, I think, have like tendency to go for like pleasure, like short term over long term, and kind of like rewiring that. If you don't want to do it, then you know you won't. And people, I think, prefer. I think progress was it, or like change rather than like ecological impact or something. Like voters, CEOs, they go for profit instead of what's, you know, better. Going back to short term, and the what you said about like predicting, they use it actually. Like there's warehouses, for example, Target. It's like Walmart or any like Amazon or any of these big brand names. But if you go inside the store, that you would usually see like dairy products all the way on the left side, or like, you know, really deep inside, because you know you get a chance to kind of stroll around and then see, man, I look at that. That's they have a sale going on for donuts. That's a steal. Gotta put that, and then they allow you to kind of like consume all the way to the end where you actually need what you were planning on doing. But they play a lot of these like schemes that you're kind of unaware of, but you're like playing it. I don't like that aspect of it, you know. I feel like everybody should, but again, you know, I understand like the profit mechanism, and that it's necessary. it plays a purpose. All right. Mm-hmm. Algorithm has so much power, though. I think I liked what you said about how we are programmed by five people around, like what we, cause I think that is true. Like more and more, if I like look back on the life, on my life, it's from what I consumed. It was like I was playing out by like what I consume and what I wanted to do. But again, like it's the choice factor that I had to make. I think everyone has that choice, whatever it may be. Mhm. Right. Mhm. 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 For sure. All right. Let's move on to another question talking about another emotion, or I don't even know if you consider this an emotion. Does evil come from within? And if so, why? So what do you think when I say evil? Mhm. 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 I think there is like a natural tendency to be evil, but I think it's learned to maintain that because like as a kid I like really did not listen. I was very high in ego in terms of like I've I didn't want to change, and again I don't know, there was like a rebellious side inside me that just didn't want to, you know, listen. But I don't really know if that's considered evil. I think evil is kind of I don't know. When I think of evil and I'm trying to think of things that I've done, there probably are like my like fighting with brother physically. That's I would consider it evil. Like, and there's so many wrong evil choices that people do make in terms of magnitude, like political corruption being a common one. It's like business as usual for them, but for me, it's the malice and the consequences that ways I consider it evil. And I think you do have everyone has their own challenge and their own set of tendency to do that, but they also are given the chance to not take that path and take the harder path, which may require more effort, but more meaningful and valuable in the grander scheme of things. And I think you learned that through experience. But I think everybody does have the ability to choose. Like for example, and going back to the Hitler analogies, that people, it was so tense, and people wanted order. People wanted things back to be good, being good, and kind of like Hitler kind of preyed upon that in a way. He was fueled by that, and by being incentivized to pursue evil, for him, we won't. I don't think I understand. Like, there's probably a lot that I could study, but from my understanding, I believe like he believed what he was doing was right, because in there was a book of with his treasurer, I think, or his secretary, like in a dinner meeting, and he would describe the white, like the opposite race, the Jews, with really bad connotative words such as like it was rats. I know rats was one of them, but just like very belittling words, very negative connotative words, like pathogens and like really harmful words that we usually think about. And that just shows like, oh man, he probably did believe that he was doing good. Like what he was doing was evil, not evil, because he's doing it for like his community, whatever that may be. But I think he knew, like there he must have. But if you get too fed upon like certain ideology, it's a trap, and you won't be able to kind of escape that if you're current like constantly surrounding yourself. So yeah, what was your question again? I know I kind of rabbit hole down. Okay. Yeah. Mm. Mhm. Okay. Mhm. 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 Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Right. Mhm. 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 And I think it's a really good thought. It's a really good thought because you don't really think about like, man, selfishness and helping others. Like, wow, am I willing to withstand all evil for the benefit of my community? Yeah, that's a really good one. Man, I think we're coming up on a 2 hour mark, which is insane. So let's kind of conclude this. Let's just one more thing that I wanted to touch upon is, would you rather? I'm kidding. No, actually, I think I'd like to leave it off there because that was really intriguing. Because I haven't had that perspective of like withstanding evil just for the bigger purpose of serving. That one really shot out to me, so I appreciate that. Man, we just did 2 hours, which is insane. How do you feel? Mm. Yeah, truly. It was an honor as well. The honor is always mine to have you as my first guest, and you bring so much depth into my personal life and just community in general. So I appreciate your remarks, and looking forward to the next one as well. Thank you, brother. Bye, everybody.